identity. They've had it for years. It probably means a little more to the participants, and there've certainly been instances. I mean, remember in 2001 Argentina and many others that there are. I mean, these national teams are really good, and they kind of know how to play together. Whereas, it's a little bit ad hoc on the U.S. side, and I do think that leaves them a little bit vulnerable. That said, I mean, they should win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they might be less dominant compared to other USA teams past. That being said, I mean, the strongest other teams in the field, we're looking at Canada, who is also playing without some big headliners. They have, guys like Jamal Murray, but, other guys, they don't have.
They don't have Jamal Murray. He actually pulled out a couple hours ago. We were just looking that up, Kevin and I, in the green room. I mean, I think this is by far the weakest roster that USA Basketball has ever put together since they had professionals in first the Olympics and also now the World Cup, World Championship competitions. Previously, the fewest wins above replacement player by my metric for one of these groups of teams was 92 for the 2010 World Championship team, which did win gold in that World Championship led by Kevin Durant's performance. This year's team last year combined for 64 wins above replacement players. So that's about a 50% less than the previous least talented team we'd seen in the professional era. They're still the favorites, but I don't expect dominance. I think there are going to be some scares along the way.
Like who? Who are some of the teams that could scare them, in your opinion?
I think Serbia is the first name to keep in mind here. That is a team that does have its star planning to play. In terms of Nikola Jokic, I think Nikola Jokic is more accomplished than any player on the U.S. roster. Now, he's just one player, but they certainly have some experience on that roster. Milos Teodosic still at point guard. That's a team that has given U.S. trouble at times in the past, although they've kind of dominated them in the finals of the last few competitions.
I mean, France is always interesting to me in the sense that they have Fournier, they have Batum, they have Rudy Gobert, De Colo. I mean, there are some nice international players and a team that kind of knows who it is and is veteran and athletic, and you could give the U.S. a game. But, I mean, you're right. I mean, in the sense that we're having to grasp a little bit.
Malika, Giannis is going to play, right?
Giannis is going to play. All the Antetokounmpos are not going to play, but yes, Giannis is going to play. And so in some sense, I mean, it's going to be Giannis versus the Celtics again, with Team USA having so many Celtics players. And here's the thing. I mean, Giannis, he loves that. He thrives in that sort of me versus the world. Now, that being said, I don't expect him to rise from the ashes and beat Team USA. Anything less than dominant, Team USA is probably going to be winning games by 20 points instead of 40 points this year. But yeah, maybe Giannis will give them a run for their money.
Where's Sophocles Schwarzenegger when you need him to help Giannis Antetokounmpo?
He retired.
He did. I know. That's right. So heard about Team Canada being on the rise at times. What do we expect from them?
Yeah, I mean, they've got, in terms of NBA caliber talent, the deepest roster of any of these teams, even without the guys that are listed there not playing, as well as Jamal Murray. They just haven't been able to put it together, and I think it's kind of similar to what Kevin was saying about USA Basketball, where they don't have that collective identity. They haven't necessarily kept the same group together over a period of time because not everyone plays every summer, and then you don't have quite the talent that the U.S. does to cover that.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty fascinating just to kind of see how all this plays out because, as you pointed out, KP, a lot of players in general, not just the Team USA. We obviously focus on Team USA, but a lot of players have bowed out because of how close this is to training camp. In retrospect, Kevin Arnovitz, do you believe that they should have changed the dates on this when they had the chance to do this?
I mean, you're playing whack-a-mole a little bit. If you change it one way, it's a little close. Some guys are still taking breathers. I mean, I think this is the load management era, and one of the casualties of this era will be international basketball. In a world where guys have more promotional commitments wherever, where they want to truly recharge physically and mentally, where they don't want to get on planes. We hear a lot of talk about, travel takes its toll. And I just feel like, unfortunately, for those of us who loved international competition, it's going to be more like this in the future. And I think it'll get to a point, even possibly with the Olympics, where you just don't see the same yen among players to just compete in these events.
KP, with Team Spain, who we saw in that highlight package there just now, Who do we expect to play for them? Ricky Rubio obviously will be one of the guys to play. Is there anyone else notable that fans would know?
Marc Gasol still was part of their team. They really haven't had kind of the younger players that have stepped up to replace the golden generation as those guys have started to age. You were asking earlier about Juan Carlos Navarro, who I think also is retired. And, the younger crop of players from Spain haven't been at that same level as the golden generation.
Well, and one interesting name that was up there who I spent some time with last year was Nikola Mirotic, who isn't playing in the NBA and who has also chosen to opt out. And so I find, when we're talking about whether or not moving the dates makes a difference with the start of the NBA training camps, I mean, this is starting to bleed a little bit into those competitive overseas guys who have signed these big contracts. And so I find that very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. And he's actually playing for Real Madrid, right? Or FC Barcelona. I don't remember which team he signed with at the moment.
I think Madrid, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, he
signed for a lot of money.
Yes, for a lot of money. You're right. All right, coming up after the break, we're talking Doc Rivers and the Clippers. Is it fair to call this season title or bust for the Clippers? We'll find out in just a moment.
Exxon and Mobil are introducing their Supremium fuel, new Synergy Supreme Plus. It keeps your engine 2 times cleaner for better gas mileage. That's why they've asked me, Mr. Supremium, to be their spokesperson. Everything of mine is Supremium.